Imagine this. You step outside tomorrow and every bed is framed like a gallery piece. Stone curves guide your eye. Brick warms the petals. Steel draws a razor line through green. Gravel sings underfoot as the morning light skims moss and terracotta. Nothing changed about your plants, only the edge. And somehow, the whole garden feels finished, intentional, yours. Welcome to Archon Aesthetic Studio, where we turn ordinary corners into beautiful, livable spaces. If design that feels good is your thing, you're in the right place. Before we start, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? I love seeing this community grow around the world. One, Corten steel ribbons, modern warm minimalism. Imagine a line drawn by time itself, sharp, clean, unwavering, yet kissed with the warmth of rust and sun. This is the gift of Corten steel edging. Its patina glows in earthy orange and deep bronze, a living skin that changes with the seasons, whispering stories of rain, wind, and light. Against the freshness of green leaves and soft petals, the steel's rugged tone becomes a frame, bold but gentle, modern yet ancient. Walk along the border and notice how it guides your eye, a ribbon of precision curving like a quiet river. Here, the garden feels intentional, every plant anchored in its place, every path defined without losing its natural flow. There is strength in this material, built to endure decades, unbothered by time, needing little care. And there is poetry, too, in how rust becomes beauty, how weather becomes design. In the morning, steel catches dew like fire in crystal. By evening, it glows under the slanting sun. It turns a garden into an architectural canvas where softness and structure meet. And as you follow its curve, your curiosity stirs. What other edges can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary? Two, natural stone curves, timeless, organic flow. Imagine a border that feels less like construction and more like memory. Natural stone curves carry the weight of centuries, as though they were gathered from riverbeds and set down by time itself. Each stone bears its own palette, soft golds, muted grays, quiet browns, woven into an unbroken line that bends and flows like water. There is no sharpness here, no rigid geometry, only a gentle rhythm that frames the garden in grace. Wildflowers spill across the stones, their colors intensified by contrast, while moss settles in the cracks, softening edges with a velvet touch. Step close and you'll see light dancing across rough textures, each surface telling a story of wind, rain, and earth. This kind of edging does more than hold soil in place. It grounds the garden, giving it permanence and poetry. It whispers of cottage paths, of timeless landscapes where beauty is effortless and enduring. The stones invite the eye to wander, guiding steps in a natural flow, making the whole space feel intentional yet free. As the day shifts, shadows stretch across the stones, painting them with new moods. At dawn, they glisten with dew. At dusk, they glow with warmth. And just beyond the curve, another idea waits to be discovered. 3. Red brick soldier course, classic European edge. Picture a path lined with bricks the color of warmth itself, deep reds and soft terracottas that glow beneath the sun. This is the soldier course, where each brick stands like a sentinel, guiding the garden into order while never stealing from its beauty. Their clean lines bring discipline, but their rustic hue adds comfort, recalling cobbled lanes and old-world courtyards. Alongside these borders, flowers appear more vivid, the purples more regal, the yellows more cheerful, the whites more serene. The contrast is a kind of dialogue. Bold earth grounding delicate bloom. Touch the surface and feel the rough texture, cool in morning shade, radiating heat by afternoon. Even the faint moss between bricks seems purposeful, a green lace stitching strength to softness. There's something timeless here, a sense that these bricks have framed countless gardens before and will remain long after. They do not demand attention. Instead, they elevate what surrounds them, making even the simplest bed look intentional and dignified. As the path extends, so too does the story. Each brick a note in a rhythm of balance, each curve an invitation forward. And just ahead, another material waits, carrying a different voice, another possibility for shaping beauty. Four, gravel walk plus timber rails, texture and sound. Close your eyes and listen. The garden speaks not only in color, but in sound. The crunch of gravel beneath each step is like a quiet rhythm, grounding you in the present. Pale stones scatter light, catching the sun in tiny sparks, while timber rails frame the path with a warmth only weathered wood can give. Together, they weave a harmony of texture and tone. The wood carries the memory of trees, its surface marked by grain and time. Beside it, the gravel lies cool and unassuming, 1,000 fragments holding space for your journey. Flowers spill casually over the edges, their soft petals brushing against the structured line of timber, a dialogue between wildness and order. There's a rustic honesty here, simple materials forming something more than the sum of their parts. Each footstep tells you the path is real. Each glance reminds you that beauty need not be costly or complex. This edging does not shout. It hums gently, guiding you forward while letting the garden sing. As the path curves, curiosity grows. Where will it lead? Perhaps to a bench beneath a tree, or to the next border waiting to show how even plants and edges can become poetry together. Five, living green edges, soft, lush borders. Imagine walking through a garden where the edges are alive, soft green borders breathing with the seasons, shaping the space without hard lines or stone. Living hedges embrace the beds like gentle arms, guiding the eye yet never interrupting the harmony. Their rounded forms catch the light, each leaf a tiny mirror reflecting sun, dew, and breeze. There is a quiet luxury in this choice. Unlike rigid materials, these edges grow, shift, and deepen in color as the years pass. They carry the patience of time, inviting you to care for them as companions rather than mere structures. Flowers rising behind them feel more radiant, their colors amplified by the steady calm of green. It is as if the plants themselves have chosen to frame their own beauty. Kneel closer and you'll smell freshness, earth and leaf mingling, a fragrance that no manufactured edge can give. Touch the surface and it responds softly, yielding without breaking. In every season, these borders remind us that design and nature are not separate, but partners in an endless conversation. As the path moves forward, the rhythm of green continues, beckoning you toward the next idea, where edges are not just frames, but statements of style. Six, minimalist concrete edging, clean, modern frame. There is a quiet strength in simplicity. Minimalist concrete edging does not call attention to itself, yet it transforms everything it touches. A smooth strip of pale gray defines the garden with clarity, like a frame that lets the painting shine. Against its neutral tone, the colors of flowers appear more vivid, more alive. Yellows seem brighter, purples deeper, greens sharper. This edge is not rustic, nor is it whimsical. It is architectural. It brings structure without weight, discipline without harshness. Walk beside it and you'll notice how the line remains steady, a calm horizon guiding your steps. In the silence of concrete, the voices of plants grow louder, the rustle of grasses, the perfume of lavender, the dance of petals in sunlight. Touch the surface and you feel permanence. Cool, smooth, enduring. It resists weather and time, yet carries the softness of restraint. Concrete is the pause between the garden's notes, allowing each bloom to sing its part clearly. It asks for little care, offering instead decades of stability. And as your eyes follow its straight path or measured curve, curiosity grows. If concrete can speak with such elegance, what might another material whisper in the language of borders? Seven, small wrought-iron fence edging, vintage European charm. Imagine walking into a garden that feels like a European courtyard, where iron whispers stories of elegance and time. Small wrought-iron fence edging stands not as a barrier, but as a gentle frame, a lacework of metal that both defines and decorates. Its arches curve gracefully, each one a sketch of tradition etched in black against the vivid palette of flowers. There is poetry in the contrast, delicate blossoms pressing against the firm geometry of iron, soft petals leaning toward dark metal. Together, they create a symphony of structure and life, restraint and abundance. The fence holds the bed in quiet order, yet allows flowers to peek through, blurring the line between boundary and bloom. Over seasons, the iron deepens in character. A touch of rust here, a soft patina there, marks of age that only add to its charm. In the glow of afternoon, shadows of the arches fall across grass and stone, painting fleeting patterns that shift with the sun. This edging does not simply guide the eye. It transforms the garden into a storybook scene, timeless and welcoming. And as you follow its rhythm, you wonder, what other borders might shape space with such grace and voice? Eight, recycled plastic edging, eco-friendly and playful. Imagine a border that bends as easily as your imagination. Recycled plastic edging curves and flows where stone and steel resist, offering a freedom of form that feels playful and light. Its colors, Greens, blues, or even brighter tones bring a cheerful accent to the garden, a subtle reminder that beauty and sustainability can walk hand in hand. There is honesty in this edge, born from what was discarded, transformed into something useful, framing soil and flowers with renewed purpose. It may not carry the weight of stone or the patina of metal, but it brings its own charm, the joy of reinvention, the delight of curves shaped with ease. The garden responds in kind. Flowers seem to dance along the arcs, vegetables grow in neatly held rows, pathways stay clean and defined. Touch the surface and you feel smooth resilience, a material made to endure seasons without fuss. It asks little, but offers clarity and playfulness in return. At dawn, dew beads across its surface like scattered jewels. By day, it shines quietly beneath blooms. And by night, it disappears into shadow, leaving only the curve it traced in memory. This is edging with a conscience, where practicality and creativity meet in a gentle smile. Nine, upcycled objects, whimsical and creative borders. Imagine a garden where every edge tells a story. Plates once used for family meals, bottles that once held celebrations, tiles rescued from forgotten corners. Upcycled objects become more than borders. They become memories woven into the soil. Each curve of glass, each splash of ceramic color, adds personality that no store-bought material could ever match. There is joy in the unexpected here. Light refracts through bottles, casting tiny rainbows on the ground. Plates shine like cheerful banners, their patterns whispering fragments of kitchens past. Even weathered wood scraps, worn by time, bring warmth to the frame of blooms. It is a border alive with character, playful, personal, and utterly unique. The garden embraces these edges with ease. Flowers spill across them, softening hard shapes. Herbs nestle against plates as if they've always belonged. The whole space feels handcrafted, intimate, like stepping into an artist's sketch brought to life. What begins as waste becomes wonder. What was once ordinary becomes magical. And as the sun sets, the colors linger, glowing softly in the fading light. This is more than edging. It is imagination grounded in earth, proving that creativity can bloom wherever we allow it. Ten, wood plank edging, rustic warm frame. There is a kind of beauty that only wood can bring, a warmth that feels close to the earth, familiar as an old farmhouse table. Wooden plank edging frames a garden not with cold precision, but with a rustic embrace. Its honey and chestnut tones echo the hues of soil and bark, weaving the garden into harmony with nature. Each plank carries the story of trees, rings of growth, marks of weather, the quiet dignity of age. Along its surface, sunlight reveals patterns like fingerprints, unique and unrepeatable. Moss may settle at its base, flowers lean across its edge, and together they create a dialogue of life and time. Unlike stone or steel, wood softens a space, making it feel lived in and welcoming. It asks to be touched, to be noticed, to be part of the garden's rhythm. And though it may weather, this too becomes part of its charm. The patina of seasons, the gentle fading that speaks of endurance and care. In the quiet of dusk, wooden edges glow softly, framing blossoms as though painted in a pastoral scene. It is edging that does not command, but comforts, an invitation to linger, to rest, to belong. (11) Hybrid mix, stone plus steel contrast. Sometimes beauty lies not in harmony alone, but in contrast. The hybrid of stone and steel edging is a dialogue between permanence and precision, between nature's raw weight and human design's clean line. Stone offers its timeless, weathered strength, grounding the bed with a sense of ancient stability. Beside it, steel rises in sharp clarity, its rusted glow adding warmth and modern edge. The meeting of these two materials feels like a conversation across centuries. Stone whispering of rivers and mountains, steel answering with the voice of craft and innovation. Together they frame the garden with depth, each enhancing the other. The softness of petals against stone feels more delicate. The freshness of greenery against steel feels more vivid. This is edging for those who see gardens as living canvases, where textures matter as much as colors. Walk along the border and notice how your eye dances, from rough to smooth, from curve to line, from earth to fire-forged metal. It is a frame that celebrates both tradition and modernity, reminding us that design can be both rooted and daring. And as the garden continues, you find yourself wondering, what happens when borders not only define, but also inspire? (12) Night glow, low voltage edge lighting. When day fades and shadows gather, a new story awakens in the garden. Night glow edging turns simple borders into lines of quiet fire, soft trails of light that guide the eye and the step. Each lamp is modest, yet together they weave a golden ribbon through the dark, transforming pathways into invitations, flower beds into luminous stages. The beauty here is subtle. It is not the brilliance of floodlights, but the hush of lanterns at twilight, low-voltage sparks that cradle rather than command. They trace stone, steel, or wood, highlighting textures that daytime overlooked. A brick's rough edge, a petal's gentle curve, a drop of dew, all become radiant under this light. It is practical too, safety woven with enchantment. Each glow marks the way, keeping paths clear and edges visible. But in doing so, it also casts a spell. The garden becomes a place not only of day, but of evening dreams, a retreat where time slows. As you walk along the glowing line, you sense the garden holding two lives, one beneath the sun and one under stars. And in that moment, you realize borders are not just frames. They are beacons, guiding beauty into every hour. (13) Height that disappears, balanced edge proportions. In the garden, even the smallest details carry weight. Height is one of them. An edge too tall overpowers, one too short disappears without purpose. But the right height? It becomes invisible, the quiet hand that holds beauty in balance. Picture a border of boxwood just high enough to guide the eye, yet low enough to let blossoms spill freely. Or a wooden plank edging a raised bed, giving strength without stealing the scene. This is the art of proportion, a dialogue between plants and frame, between structure and bloom. The secret lies in harmony. Small flowers need only a whisper of edging, a 6-inch line that gathers them close. Larger plants may ask for a taller embrace, 10 or 12 inches that define space while keeping grace intact. Walk along such edges and you feel a rhythm, order without rigidity, clarity without intrusion. Light plays differently here too. Shadows glide evenly along low lines, while blooms lean over to soften the edges. The result is a garden that feels curated but never constrained, intentional yet free. And as you follow these balanced lines, you see how height disappears, not by absence, but by perfect fit. It leads naturally to the next truth, that where an edge lies is just as vital as how tall it stands. (14) Positioning for flow, clean lines, and natural curves. Every garden tells a story, and the way its edges are placed becomes the punctuation. Positioning is more than function. It is rhythm, the line that guides the eye, the curve that carries emotion. A straight edge whispers of discipline, clarity, modern order. A gentle arc, meanwhile, invites softness, flow, a sense of discovery around each bend. Stand at the entrance and follow a well-positioned border. It leads like a hand on your shoulder, steering without force. A wooden line tracing a bed of wildflowers feels natural, almost improvised, yet reveals careful thought. A steel strip cutting clean across a lawn feels deliberate, anchoring space with strength. Both speak truths, but in different voices. Positioning is the quiet art of listening to the garden itself. Where does the path want to wander? Where do blooms need framing? And where should the edge fade into background? Marked lines become guides, but intuition finishes the work. And when edges align with flow, curves respected, lines balanced, the garden breathes more freely. You no longer notice the border itself, only the sense of harmony it creates. And so, from placement, we move to another hidden secret of great gardens: how edges also protect, draining away what would overwhelm. (15) Drainage that saves plants, edging with purpose. A garden's beauty does not rest only on what we see, but also on what we cannot, the way water moves, the way soil breathes. Drainage within edging is the hidden guardian, a quiet protector that keeps roots from drowning and colors from fading. Where stones meet gravel, where steel rests above a trench, water finds its path, slipping away without stealing life. This is edging with purpose, a border that frames and defends. Each raindrop that falls is guided with care, carried beneath mulch and gravel, released gently back to earth. The plants above reward this thoughtfulness with vigor. Leaves gleam brighter, flowers bloom longer, roots stretch deeper. Balance is restored, not by accident, but by design. Listen closely after a rain and you may hear it. The soft trickle beneath your feet, the sigh of soil relieved. See how blooms stand taller, how paths remain clear, how harmony endures even in storm. Drainage edging reminds us that beauty is sustained by wisdom. A garden is not only about appearance, but about resilience, the ability to thrive season after season. And with this last secret, every border you choose carries more than shape. It carries the promise of life cared for well. If one border made you picture your own yard differently, that's your sign. Save this video, share it with a garden-loving friend, and tell me which edging you'll try first. For more calm, beautiful transformations, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.